Hello everybody, I am Paul with many voices and welcome to what is sadly going to be the finale of my Prison Architect Going Green Prison. I say sad because, well, it is kind of sad, of course, that I'm going to be ending this prematurely. But I have my reasons, and we'll be going over that in this video, and for that reason I am gonna let this video play out as long as it takes until I've covered all of the topics that I have on my little script here. Yes, I'm running a script again to discuss everything that I want to. So a couple of changes beforehand. As you see, 2 helipads. This was the original plan from the get-go. This one brings in all of the stuff, and this one takes away all of the stuff. And the buses, the trucks, will disappear and just be buses. And the visitors will come in through this way as well. So yeah. I currently have a couple prisoners too many, apparently. So what I'm gonna do instead, instead of dorms, these are gonna be holding cells again, just like that. So, what I've done, the reason why I suddenly have over 200 capacity, I've made all of these dorms. And I've added a foam mattress in each one of them to double the capacity so that I would finally get out of the negative daily cash flow. Because that was one of the points that I wanted to make, and I'll talk about it later on the design choices in this prison and why I over-designed this for the capacity. And like I said, we'll talk about it later. But I want to talk about the process of Going Green being announced in January when I was still playing the Islandbound DLC. By the time that I was recording episode 5 of the Islandbound DLC, the announcement for Going Green already had been made. Sadly, due to the fact that my Islandbound DLC was, well, my playthrough was planned to be so excruciatingly long because I had so many big plans and so much fun in mind. Yeah, I sadly couldn't really do any of this stuff. So the reason I stopped that prison and eventually started this prison when I did was purely to remain relevant, because Going Green was the new big thing on YouTube, and so for a YouTuber you have to do the thing that is relevant in order to remain relevant. If you don't do that, then you run behind the entire crowd and you don't get as many views as you do, because of course that's the way the algorithm works, and I kind of regret that. But, oh well, it's in the past. It's no longer really important. Let's see. We had a death today. Of course, I didn't. Oh, wait, you were a janitor. Don't care. Whatever happens in this prison, I no longer care. I was going to expand the farming fields over here, vegetable allotments here, and then orchards here, maybe a forestry here, and then the farming fields over here. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just done with this prison. So yeah, midway during January, I had to stop recording my Islandbound DLC prison and wait with playing Prison Architect until the DLC was released, and then spend a lot of my time. Luckily for me, at that time I was unemployed, so I had a lot of free time on my hands in order to test out everything. So I had to do that. before I was confident enough that I could start a series for YouTube about it. So it took a little while. I didn't start it right at the release. So yeah, that's why you have that. And during my test playthrough, I learned that the way that I normally will play really wasn't gonna fly anymore. One thing that I absolutely love to use is the dynamic reputations. Prisoners have a chance to either gain or lose unique reputation traits during their time in the prison based on their activities and experiences inside. Now, this in general is not a bad thing combined with going green. However, I also like to play with a couple of mutators to make it even more interesting, namely the good stuff. Prisoners who take drugs and alcohol will randomly gain a reputation trait, making them progressively more difficult to deal with. Now, going green, and that is something I'll explain more in detail, adds a lot of producible alcohol and drugs for the prisoners. So with that now being a thing, the prisoners will rapidly gain a lot of reputation traits if you use the good stuff mutator. Especially coupled with another very fun mutator, the extra reputations, it basically just becomes a massive shit show, and thus no longer fun. So this prison doesn't use those mutators at all. Because of, well, the orange, which is an alcohol ingredient for production, which they use their toilets for, and eventually these drinks are alcoholic. They are a very imbalanced new contraband inside of the game, and it just like makes it less entertaining for me personally for me. Now, of course, you as a player yourself may think that it is just way more fun to play it like this. Props to you, but not for me. It's not meant for me at all. Fine, let's replace our janitor here. Add a couple more. Sure. Yeah, especially with this. Hey, well. So yeah, my original playstyle has become a lot less interesting because of the new DLC. So, my experiences about this particular prison. I, of course, started building this prison by having sold a previous prison, my test prison, which gave me a starting cash amount of just over $1 million. Almost $1 million, and then the 30,000 starting grant that you get by default for starting a new prison added up to just over $1 million. And the first episode was me building the southern end of the prison entirely, complete with custom flooring and such. I spent my usual hours and hours and hours in the planning tool, which I do enjoy, but it's not a interesting sight to do that on video. So that's why I never do that on video. You'll never, only in like very specific instances will you see me use the planning tool on video when I'm also building, but that's a thing for later. So yeah, I got a lot of starting money, so immediately I wasn't really hindered with building the specific buildings like I did with my Islandbound prison. You may remember episode 1 where I had a little building here, just one office here, an office over there, and then the holding cell, and then the canteen somewhere in the middle and such. But this time I could just build everything. I would still use the grants as a guide for like, okay, so first we're gonna do the basic detention center and the administration center grant, and then we'll slowly work our way up to the cell blocks and all of the other rooms. Just a second. Sorry about that. Little frog in my throat. More deaths. Perfectly fine. So yeah, that was the first half that I did on screen. The second half I already built off screen. I had to cheat in even more money. And it seems that we've got a little riot on our hands. No problem. We're gonna sort that out right here. No, go in here now. Fix this little issue. Mr. Vargas. Whatever. Staff morale is still happy. Good. So yeah. Because of the way that I built this, with the money, and also with the announcement of the DLC, and therefore me having to stop my previous prison, leaving me with a very sour taste in my mouth. And thus, that led me to feel detached, not as invested as I would normally be in any of my prisons. And I've played this game. Allow me to show you that. Just a second. There you go. I'm already over 1,200 hours since 2014, when Alpha 25 got released. That's when I got this game. And I've been playing it pretty much ever since. In the early days, a lot on, eventually more off, and then later on again. But, excuse me? Is that you? There. Stop that. So yeah, I felt detached, like not as invested, because of the way that I built this. And also, as I said, having to cancel the previous series left a sour taste in my mouth, because I had so many big plans for that prison, and it was supposed to be a prison that would run for definitely a couple months on the channel, especially since I only upload one Prison Architect video per week. But it would have been such a fun prison, and I'll talk about that in a moment. However, some good things about this prison. As I mentioned, I definitely over-designed this in terms of how many rooms I have of each compared to the capacity. Now, cut this capacity in half and you have the original capacity, like 96. But for 96 prisoners, I don't need 2 common rooms. I don't need 2 gyms. I don't need 2 yards. Definitely don't need 2 classrooms or chapels. So I could have made these rooms slightly bigger and only have 1 of each, and it would have been fine. Of course, the canteens, maybe the well, definitely the laundries and the cleaning cupboards, but I also didn't really need more than 1 mailroom, more than 1 library, probably more than 1 shop, more than 1 infirmary. I didn't need any of that, so I definitely over-designed this compared to the capacity, hence why I now made all of the cells dormitories and doubled the capacity. However, the one thing I absolutely have fallen in love with is this hallway that you see right here. And it works. Prisoners get searched when they go to the classroom, when they go to the chapel, when they go to parole, when they go to visitation. And not only that, they get searched on the way out as well. And in my future prisons, now that I know this, I definitely want to experiment more with this. It seems that we've got farm work going on here. And hey, is this Gary Icepick? I think this is one of the original developers of Prison Architect from intro version. So yeah, but as I said, I definitely want to experiment more with this kind of a setup here. I absolutely love this. I think this is very secure and definitely stops a lot of contraband. I do like the fact that the staff rooms, the canteens, the kitchens, and the solitary, and holy shit, what's going on over here? I think I need a couple more guards. I think I need a... Well, fine. Oh. There. Huh. But the solitaries, the canteens, the shops, and the staff rooms, the day of 4 white is just perfect. Also, that combined with the staff-only farms is a perfect barrier for the, whatchamacallit. Let me open the doors here really quick. There you go. Leave. For contraband being flung in. I mean, there's a, I believe 12 tile limit on where contraband can be flung in from the outermost wall. So from this wall, 12 tiles in, you would reach the roof of this building. So contraband will be flung in over here in the farm fields, but it's staff only, so it'll rot there. It'll rust there. It'll be there forever, and no problems. So that is perfect. Well, the only exception, of course, is this area, but that is, once again, why we have the check stations. Perfect. Yeah, so I do like that design. Also, I'm glad that I figured out that the 11 by 20 plus 2 by 2 was the perfect size for an automated vegetable allotment or farming field. Now, of course, these things don't work yet because they're not hooked up to power. And that's perfectly fine. Excuse me. I could have sworn that I added those to the, Oh. There are no guards there. Why are there no guards there? Well, I know what I'm spending money on next time. Well, there's more violence over here. Ignore it. So yeah. So next time, whenever I add more Going Green stuff, more farms, I will definitely be using fields the size of this. And in terms of the fruit orchards, the trees are 3 by 3 individually. So, let's see. Let's just pick one for shits and giggles. Going Green. So, 12 by 11, 12 by 12, and then another 2 by 2 for the shed is a great size for a fruit orchard. You'll have 16 trees in this. Am I correct? Yes. So that'll be perfect. Of course, you need to have the fruit orchard room underneath, otherwise it won't work. I also do like the recycling. It adds a little more money. So, object there. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Still don't have enough money for the okay. Let's see. I'm also kind of sad that I had to waste a lot of my time. Luckily for you guys, I left it all off screen. of course, I saved you guys a lot of time by speeding up the Southern End build into a single video. If I would have done that in half-hour videos, then we would be looking at probably 5-6 videos for just the bottom half, and then another 5-6 videos for the top half, without even getting any prisoners in, which of course is not entertaining at all. So I saved you guys a lot of trouble with that. Let me quickly fix this. There and there. I definitely need a couple guards for the door control system. So 1, 2. Thank you. Okay. 9,000. Good. More prisoners released. But also, besides wasting a lot of my own time with this prison, I had to waste a lot of time with the useless power station for the green energy goal number 8. 10 in-game days of having a power station but not using it. Now, of course, originally I had a power station in here before I built all of this, and I left it on for I left it off for 5 days for the, I believe it was, where is it? Not the self-sustaining. Not the green, the eco-friendly. So basically you want to do these two in tandem, because this takes 5 days, and then just wait 5 more days and you're done with both this and the green energy goal. But at the time I didn't know that. So later I had to waste 10 more in-game days, of which a lot of that was spent off screen in order to also sort out the farms up here and down here with the automatic farming things, before I could finally tear down the power station and finally start working on my prisoner only farms. So if I had done it smarter, or if I had known it sooner, I could have done that differently. But sadly at the time I didn't. I could have got into the forestry instead. Probably should have done that rather than behind here, so that I could still have done the farming fields up here. But oh well. What's in the past is in the past. So I've had to waste a lot of time with that as well. And once again, that's also one of the reasons why I feel so severely detached and uninvested in this prison as it is. And for that reason, I'm also not going to do a bonus video, and I'm also not going to do an escape mode, because the escape mode would have been bonus video number 2 then. Because this, what I'm doing over here, was supposed to be the bonus video. But now it's no longer important. Okay. Let's see. I had to waste... yeah. One final thing, sad experience, is that while there's the new program called the... Where are ya? Solar panel... Oh, wait. 4 people have passed it. Is that a fact? Aha. But that was only after I doubled the capacity of the prison. But before that, day 58, when I started writing the script, 0 people had passed the green energy, or the solar panel development, and therefore green energy goal number 6 was still at 0%. This would take a very long time to get done. And originally my plan was to keep playing this until this was done, but I just don't feel like it anymore. Once again, I'm not really that interested in this prison at all. Also, that's the reason why I'm not going to be uploading this prison to the Steam Workshop. Though I have uploaded something to the Steam Workshop that I will show after this next week. And you're gonna love it. Because I certainly do. So, let's talk about some of the pros of going green. There's a lot more exports. All of these farm fields, the vegetable allotments, and the fruit orchards, well, most of them can go to the kitchen for, well, lowering the cost of your own food. It also serves as a lot of exports, which of course, more money is more better. Though, a bad thing about it, it's quite expensive to get it started. The farmers, which you need in order to run the farms, they cost 1,500 to hire each, if I'm not mistaken. Where are ye? Here you are. 1,000 to hire and 150 per day to work. And the more farms you have, the more farmers you will need. So that is expensive. If you go for fully automated farms such as these, it is quite expensive as well. Let me have a look-see really quick. So this is 5 times 2,500, 12,500. 4 times, that's another 10 or another 5,000 for the advanced auto harvesters or auto gatherers over here. And then the crop sprinklers are 150 a piece. So just for the farms, we're looking at let's say getting close to 20,000 for just this field. And then on top of that you have to carry the actual crops, whichever you choose to have. So this will be 180, and then this will be 1,800 already, and potatoes will be far too much. And then of course the where are you? The fertilizers. The fertilizers. They're expensive as hell as well. As you can see, it takes a lot. And I don't have the money at this very moment. So yeah, well of course you can cheapen it with the auto site instead of the auto harvester, but you can't place the auto harvester, the regular auto gatherer, and the crop sprinkler on the same tile. So this is gonna be quite messy to figure out exactly how you want to have your farms laid out. And the drip pipes, in my eyes, are absolutely useless. This is the only way you can place them, and they're only going to be sprinkling the one tile to the left and the one tile to the right. So you're gonna be losing out on quite a lot of ground for just your farms. So I never use them, but still it's quite expensive to get done. It seems that people want to get in, but I don't have any way to let people in, so let me fix that really quick. I have too many people. Stop it. More? Okay. So yeah, there's definitely more ways to make money in going green. As I mentioned, not just the crops, but also recycling. As you can see, a bag of recycling will sell, in this case, for 10, and for 10. So that is kind of useful still. Fun fact, Mark de Morris is also one of the developers of Introversion, and one of the guys who did the videos explaining what you can find in the new DLCs or the new updates in the pre-alpha days. They were a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, so that's also another way. Of course, the exporting of power through the transformers with the green energy is also another way to get power. The way that it works is you need to charge batteries first, and at the end of the day, your batteries are gonna get drained entirely, and how much you've saved up to a maximum of 5,000 regularly, or 10,000 if you have the ecologist warden, because he sells power for double the amount of power that you can do. At the end of the day, all of your batteries are gonna get drained, and then you're gonna sell the excess power that you have, which also creates a danger, because if at some point you have there, just a couple more guards. So I definitely need more guards over here. Also, this chair, no. Chair. Dump. This playthrough also taught me that chairs inside here are useless. I thought they added comfort, but they don't. They definitely don't. So yeah. What was I saying? What was I saying again? I quite can't recall. There. Fix that. That is more important. Yeah, more income, more better. Also, more grants. We had the green machine, the eco-friendly, the giving something back, advanced farming, basic farming, and also a great thing, overproduction, which is not just a regular grant, it is a repeating grant. And now to balance this, what they did really smart is to give it a cooldown of, I believe, 80 something hours. So it's not that you finish one overproduction and you can instantly start a new one, but you'll have to wait 80 something hours before you can start it again. So there's definitely more ways to make a lot of money. Though, just like farming, setting up green energy is quite expensive. Because on the normal circumstances, when you first start a prison, you get one power station worth 5,000 for free, and you get one capacitor worth 1,000 for free. However, you start with solar panels available, but you have to buy them. 2,000 a pop. And only once you have 3 solar panels, so that's 6,000, then you unlock the wind turbines. And then once you have 3 wind turbines, again 6,000 in total, then you unlock the solar wind hybrids. And only once you build your first solar wind hybrid, then you complete one of the green machine grants for, well, less than that. So you need 6,000, 12,000, 17,000 in total, and you only get 7,500. So you're wasting money for this grant. But eventually, because of the transformer and the I have it over here. I forgot the power export meter. Here you can see how much power you're gonna be exporting each day. Of course, through that, then you get your money back, but that's such a long case. Yeah. Of course, also, during the first few days, the amount of power you can sell back to the grid is very limited. Though, each time you reach one of those green energy goals, the amount of power that you can export goes up, but it's also limited again. And then again. Now, I've done a little experiment. I don't have the money for that yet, but what I can do, this one is connected to this one, but I cannot connect it to this transformer. So, in order to export your power, you're gonna need an additional, let's see, 1000 for a transformer, and 1500 for a power export meter, and then 500 per battery. So that's 5000 in total for your batteries, 6000 including the transformer, 7500 for the power export meter, and you need, if you want to export more power, you're gonna need to invest $7,500 per power export meter, basically. So I cannot hook this transformer up to this power export meter as it's already connected to another one. I can't connect it to something else. So that was an experiment that I did off screen, and I was sad to see that that wasn't possible. So you're definitely supposed to invest a lot of money, and only in the very long run is it gonna be beneficial for your bank account. So yeah, is it really worth it? Yeah, kind of. So that is two of the cons. It's very expensive to get started with Going Green DLC stuff. It's very expensive. Now, what I've done with these helipads, I'll show it to you in my transports. My deliveries go through this, and my exports go through this. But before I had this, everything came across the road. So, what I'm gonna do, briefly, is revert this. So these should be the last two helicopters that we get. And from now on, we're gonna see a shitload of trucks. And that is another con. Occasionally, you will get trucks coming in, like this, that are empty. They are purely for exports. And then you get a single truck with 20 potato seeds and then some staff meals. And then you get another truck with just 10 tomato seeds. And this is quickly going to create a massively insane backlog of trucks, to a point where your prison intake is gonna suffer for it, because that eventually gets so far up in the backlog that you might be 2 days further in time before your prisoners finally arrive. And that might actually break your intake entirely, where you end up with more prisoners than you can hold. So a little, be careful about that. Now, can I... Yes, I have enough. Goody. Okay. So you see, my consulting fee is for the warden that I have, Savara Aknova. Every bit of contraband you find, you're gonna get a little bit of extra money. But you saw 600 in exports, and then let's see, recycling $20, positive daily cash flow and such. But staff meals are still quite annoying. So this is something that's gonna be very common from now on. if you don't have your helipads for specific stuff and just use the single road, is that you're gonna have such a massive backlog of trucks that is just not funny anymore. So for that reason, I'm going to revert it back to the way I had it, transports. So no incoming, no outgoing, just incoming, just outgoing. There. This is also something that severely annoys me, and I've talked about this before. So much extra contraband. All of these drinks. All of these things. We just found a massive amount of over here, and in the toilets, in the cells, we're gonna find even more, because this is stuff that prisoners produce themselves, and they get them from the drinks machine and the snack machine and the fruit orchard, which luckily here they can't reach, but of course they have their fruit orchard here. Luckily there's still this over here to catch all of that. But if you have drinks machines and snack machines inside of your prison, reachable for your prisoners, prepare for a lot of contraband. As you see, Mr. Coward over here already had contraband, another drink, somewhere. And this is just gonna be the case for everything, forever. 8 drinks already, some, that was an overdose, 10 drinks, more drinks, more drinks, more drinks, more drinks. And like I said before, I like to play with the mutator, the good stuff, where prisoners will gain unique reputation traits based on alcohol and drug consumption. And this is produced drugs, different from regular drugs. So if I had the mutator on, I would instantly see, as I haven't checked any of this at all, and I honestly don't even care anymore, I would have seen possibly legendary prisoners with lots and lots of stats. And why? Just because of the good stuff, and just because of the amount of drinks and produced drugs that the prisoners produce in their cells. It has become completely unbalanced. Now luckily for me, since I am using Savada Agnova, this just means more money for me in a consulting fee. But it's also very annoying that practically you need daily shakedowns at night, which are gonna piss prisoners off. So there's just no pleasing this at all. And it's annoying as hell. Let me tell you. So I hope that at some point in time they will turn down the amount of produced contraband, because it just makes it barely playable. In my test prison, this was a severe problem where I was using the dynamic reputations and I was using the good stuff and the extra reputations. I ended up with I think something around 50 prisoners in total for just half of a prison, and I had 20 legendary prisoners with all of the stats. I'm like, how? Why? Because the alcohol, the drugs, as you can see, the shakedown, 40 drinks, 41 drinks, 19 produced drugs. Excuse me. How are you supposed to counteract this? Yeah, okay. Remove these 2 from the canteens. And wherever else you have them. Because I can show you that, the dangers. Booze ingredients. They get them from the, the regular bin and the drinks machine. So they take that back to their cells, and in their toilets, they'll make the drinks, the booze. So if you remove those things, then you should be fine. And that's something I'm gonna have to keep in mind for whenever I start a new prison. Any other? So yeah, I've talked about the trucks already. So yeah, I think that I've discussed pretty much everything about Going Green and this particular prison to the fullest. Let me quickly still make potato plants over here. Because now I can. And these were carrots. All of the carrots exist. Not entirely. Now they do. Okay. No. I want the fertilizer. Everywhere. Okay. So yeah. There you go. Also, produce 10 compost fertilizer. I am working on it, but it's just such a slow and tedious process that it's gonna take forever and a half. Because these waste bins, these compost bins, will have to collect 100 waste to produce a single compost fertilizer. Now luckily I have quite a few throughout the prison. Each farm has at least one compost bin. But yeah, it's gonna take such a long time before that happens. This grant is not gonna get done anytime soon. And it would have taken a lot of time before let's see, can I dump object? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to dump here. Let me dump those chairs too, sure. So yeah, there's just a lot of a lot of time that you have to wait before stuff gets done. However, Warden, shut the fuck up with your pipe. Fine, I'll fix that. Right here. However, while this is going to be the end of this episode, and currently 47 minutes in, I am not done with Prison Architect in the least on my channel. Finish my drink. Excuse me. I am bringing back the Island-bound prison because while I was waiting for time to pass so that I wouldn't have to bulk record episodes, which I would normally do, and in between the testing phase of Going Green and the YouTube phase of Going Green, I went ahead and continued my Island-bound DLC prison, built everything according to my original plan, and I've even managed to add the Going Green DLC in it in some way. So, with that being said, excuse me, I am redubbing the Island-bound DLC into the All DLC Archipelago. That's gonna be the new name of that playthrough. Because now that it also has the Going Green DLC added to it, it has all of the DLCs that are currently available. And the first episode, which will be next week, I'm first going to do a grand tour just showcasing everything that I've done. And all of the ideas that I had for the prison. After that, I'm gonna run the prison, because at this very moment, the prison has no inmates whatsoever. I've gotten rid of all of them, because it made my life a little easier in terms of construction. So, I'm gonna be bringing in prisoners according to a certain set of rules, and I'm gonna just let the game run itself and occasionally bring you guys back. But how I'm going to be recording and editing the videos, because they will be heavily edited, I I'll talk about in detail during the Grand Tour. And I think I may have another 2 months worth of episodes for you of that. So I think that's will be May, maybe end of June, until I'm done with the all DLC Archipelago playthrough. However, after that, I'm still not done with Prison Architect, because at some point during February, I got this very funky idea for a challenge. Because I'm gonna give you a hint. It involves grants, but then slightly different. This is a unique challenge, and I say unique because I've already tried to find playthroughs of this particular challenge on YouTube. I myself have not been able to find anything like this, so I might actually be the first to try this on YouTube. At least I hope so, because that should be bringing in viewers and subs. Nah, just kidding. I don't really care about numbers, but I just want to do that challenge because I've been keeping it in my head for over a month, because right now it is March 30th, 2021. And I've been playing around with this idea for this playthrough since, shall we say, February 20th. So I've already been playing around with this idea for over a month. And it's gonna take another 2 months before I can finally start that. Now, I will say that it's not a guarantee that this challenge will work right off the bat. And so I'm gonna give myself 3 attempts. And if I can't do it after 3 attempts, then okay, of course, I'm gonna call it quits. Well, it would be really fun if I could. So yeah, you still have plenty of Prison Architect to look forward to on the channel. I hope you can appreciate that. Now, I don't want to dump the Moosehead. The Moosehead is sacred. I'm gonna dump all of the prisoner uniforms. There. Leave those. Get that one. And that one. Maybe add a couple more janitors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 3 more gardeners. Okay, fine. Well, that's 5 more gardeners. Fine. Okay, so yeah. There's still more Prison Architect on the channel, despite the fact that this series has come now to an end. But even after the challenge run, be it successful, be it third time the failure, I might, if people want it, go for a playthrough of the campaign. Now, I've already played the campaign years ago, and I haven't done that in all that time. I haven't done that on this PC just yet, and I kind of want to play it again. But of course I would want to record it, but people will have to be interested in that. Wow, I'm gonna be closing it off here today with something. Yeah, I never read the CEO's letter. Delete. Right. Yeah. So, let me check the programs one final time. Nobody interested in carpentry apprenticeship. One past the education, foundation education. And in terms of the new program, still 4 have passed. So, it's gonna take a lot more time to get that done. Anyway, I think I've rambled on long enough. I've expressed my distaste, because that's what it is, for the Going Green. It has some great stuff about it, but it also has a lot of bullshit about it. And honestly, the bullshit, in my opinion, outweighs the good stuff. Because I don't want to use the good stuff mutator anymore. Just kidding. But yeah, I'm gonna be closing it off here today for this prison. So next week, the all DLC Archipelago is gonna happen. I am going to do this. Do this. I'm Paul with many voices. I thank you all for watching. If you've enjoyed this, make sure to leave a thumbs up. Helps out a great deal. Next week, the grand tour of the all DLC Archipelago. I hope you'll be watching for that. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.